Super Mario 64 was the very first 3D Mario game to be introduced, and what a revolutionary title it was. I gotta be honest though, I think this is my least favorite 3D Mario. I know it's shocking, as I understand that so many people love this one, but it's just not all for me. I do still think that it is an absolute classic, and I still do enjoy it, just not as much as the other 3D Marios. One reason that this game is so legendary is because of the many iconic levels that it has. I thought today it would be fun to rank every single stage in Super Mario 64. Now you may be wondering, why the hell isn't this a 3-trial Dungeons from Ocarina of Time like you promised me, Jickbean? Well, I may have underestimated how long that video would be, so instead you're going to get this one. Don't worry though, as eventually I will do a whole 120 star ranking for every star in the game, but for now we have to just deal with the stage ranking. But what is considered a stage? Well, basically all I'm going to be ranking is every stage in the game minus the Castle Secret Stars. In my opinion, a lot of the stages in the Castle Secret Stars are way too short to even be considered for the ranking, so we'll have to leave that up to a different video. I'll be ranking each stage on multiple accounts. 1. How well the stage is designed. 2. My enjoyment of the stage. And 3. The music, because apparently that's what I talk about best. With all the essentials out of the way, let's get right into every single stage in Mario 64 ranked. Coming in at number 15, at no one's surprise, we have Dire Docks. This stage is found in the basement right before the second Bowser level, and let me tell you, this is the only stage that I passionately hate. I'm not too big a fan of water levels to begin with, but at least there are some instances where it can be fun. Dire Docks has no fun, zero, zilch. It's nowhere to be found. First off, this level is a phony because everyone talks about the Dire Docks theme, but it's really the Jolly Roger Bay theme, and I'm sick and tired of the disrespect for not recognizing Jolly Roger Bay. And to make it even worse, Dire Docks steals a whole star title from Jolly Roger Bay, a whole freaking star title. This stage is a bunch of crap. Other than my personal beef with the stage, a lot of the stars here are pretty bland. We got some stars where you have to touch certain chests, board a submarine, and follow a manta ray's rings. I don't know how some people actually enjoy this. I mean, the coolest thing here is the fact that Bowser has a submarine, but you can't even go inside it. Now that would have been a cool star. There's also some pole jumping for red coins, which honestly is a pretty hard star because of how finicky the controls of this game are. All in all, this stage sucks, and it can only go up from here because my goodness, this might be one of my least favorite levels in gaming history. Number 14. Rainbow Ride. A very infamous stage because of its difficulty. There's actually a decent bit to like here, and I don't mind the difficulty. What sucks most about Rainbow Ride is all of the waiting you have to do. There are all these magic carpets that you get to ride around on, but god do they move slow. They even disappear if you're standing off of them for too long, but it takes a while for them to disappear, so there shouldn't be too many major mess ups with that. There's also a lot of open area here, and I feel like they could have even added more to this course. Everywhere in the stage kind of feels odd, like over here there's a bunch of random platforms, and over here there's a giant house in the sky. And all the way over here there's a pirate ship with a cannon you can shoot out of. Most of the stars here do just boil down to riding the carpets to certain areas in order to obtain the star. However, there is one star here that makes me want to punch a hole in my wall, and that's the 100 coin mission. If you don't know, in each course you get a star for collecting 100 coins, and this is by far the hardest one. Rainbow Ride is pretty hard to navigate around sometimes, and I couldn't count how many times I've been so close to a star before falling off the map. The song here, while amazing, is just the slide theme. I know there aren't too many songs in this game, and while most of them are absolute bangers, I would have liked more variety. And yes, I know this game is old and they needed ways to save resources, but I don't care, I should get what I want. Overall, Rainbow Ride isn't Dire Docks, so therefore it gets to be placed at number 14 on the rankings. Number 13, Tiny Huge Island. A cool concept that in my opinion falls flat in its execution. There are 2 different paintings you can hop into in this room. One of them puts you on the tiny island, where the other one puts you on the huge island. In each different version of the stage, there are multiple pipes to take you to whichever part of the stage you aren't on. I really wish I liked this stage a whole lot more, but honestly there are so many things that keep this level down for me. A big part is how annoying it can be whenever you don't know which stage you should be on for the star you're going for. It doesn't indicate at all which one is needed on the select screen, and while not too annoying to look for a pipe in order to switch stages, it is still a minor inconvenience. In the stage, there's a giant landmass surrounded by a bunch of water, which has a pretty big fish in it. There's also an area with a bunch of piranha plants and even a Koopa Troopa whose shell you can ride on. As you climb to the top of the island, there's a bunch of rolling balls trying to knock you off, and they aren't too annoying to deal with. The main part here that most people remember though is the Wiggler boss fight. At the top of the mountain, there's a little patch of water which you can ground pound on the tiny island in order to flood Wiggler's home. This in turn leads to a Wiggler boss fight back on the huge island. This is such a cool concept for a star and is definitely a top tier level. But honestly, besides that and the Koopa the Quick Star, there aren't too many other special stars here. I absolutely hate 5 Itty Bitty Secrets, which is just you going around the tiny island and walking up to 5 holes to get a star. I don't like moving around the tiny island, and having to explore it to find all 5 holes isn't particularly fun. The theme here is the basic Mario 64 theme, being Bob-omb Battlefield. This is by far the most reused theme in the game, and thank God, because it is so good and we'll be hearing it a lot. I really like the concept of the stage, but unfortunately I feel that Tiny Huge Island does its cool gimmick very poorly. Number 12, Tall Tall Mountain. I remember liking this one much more as a kid, but as I got older, I realized how similar a lot of these stars are. Most of what we got here is climbing up to the top of the mountain, and then there's something up there for us to get a star. Of course, the best part of this level is the monkey that steals Mario's hat. I remember always letting him steal the hat on purpose just so I could make the game more difficult. There is again one great star here, and that's Mysterious Mountainside. Mario 64 has a few stars where all you have to do is slide down a big slide, and they are all so much fun. This one is by far the hardest one, and it's just as fun as the other ones. The only other stars that aren't mountain climbing related are a quick red coin star and a star where you have to blast to the Lonely Mushroom. Here's a couple of cool things here, like a Chuck Ya and more rolling balls, but this one is the only stage that feels like there could have been so much more going on. The theme here once again is the Bob-omb Battlefield theme, and just like Tiny Huge Island, it still fits pretty well here. I mean, this segment's pretty short, so that should tell you all you need to know about the stage. Number 11, Wet Dry World. Hey look, another level that has a star for finding 5 secrets, but this time it's way better. The reason it's so much better is because it is so much more clear what you have to do, unlike the last one. Anyway, Wet Dry World is pretty cool. You can change the water level absolutely everywhere, and you can even make it to where there's next to no water. In some cases, for certain stars, you have to try and platform all around this area without having the water level high at all, mainly with the assist of some of these heave-hos, and of course some epic platforming. A lot of stars incorporate the many layers of water that you have to use, and I find it pretty fun to do. But of course, the best part about Wet Dry World is the whole underwater city you can explore. It's unlike anything that you normally see in Mario games, and has 2 stars related to it. One red coin star, and one star that incorporates the invisibility cap, along with the metal cap. There are just a bunch of go from point A to point B stars here, and they take up about half the star selection. The 100 coin star isn't too bad compared to most other ones, and there's only really one unique star where you have to use a rising platform to get a star, along with messing with the water levels. Something really weird about the stage is the song. It's the exact same as Hazy Maze Cave, which we'll see later, and feels like a really odd choice for a song here. I don't know what I would have gone with, as I don't think the basic water theme would have worked here either. I think here is where we start getting to the good stages of this game, and Wet Dry World is a good standard point for a good stage. Number 10, Snowmans Land. Half of the reason this stage is so low is because of its unoriginal theme. There's a far better snowy stage later on in this video, but for now we have to deal with this one. One of the first stars here involves you navigating through some ice cubes for a star, but it is very quick and also very boring. Another quick star involves you fighting this ice bully, which is a quick little boss fight, but is still really fun. Of course, there's the red coin star, and the red coins are just alright to get, not too fun, but not too bad. In the middle of the stage, there's a big mountain with a snowman on top of it. You could try to walk on top of him, but he doesn't like that very much and blows you away from him. You have to follow this nice little penguin here who blocks the air from knocking you off the platform. On top of him is a box with a star in it, so that's what he was trying to hide for us. Another star just simply involves you jumping on a whoosh across the frozen lake in order to open a box with a star. The best star here though is so creative. There's a tiny igloo around the snowman, and you can crouch on into it to go inside. Find the invisibility cap in here and you can obtain a star in the frozen maze. While the star isn't too innovative, the way you get to the area with the star is an absolutely genius game design move. Also, like I said earlier, the music here is an exact copy of Cool Cool Mountain, which we'll see later, and I'll talk more about that theme when we get there. Another solid stage, but there are some instances where I feel like they could have done more with each individual star. Number 9, Jolly Roger Bay. And here we have the far superior water level. Now this is a theme that I love to hear. This is the original and it feels so good to listen to. It makes me feel like I'm on an underwater adventure, and let me tell you, when that percussion kicks in after the laid back feel, oh my god, it makes you feel something. A lot of Jolly Roger Bay involves this ship right here, and I love pirates so much, so that aesthetically gets a boost. There's also the infamous eel, which has 2 stars related to it. One where you have to get it out of the pirate ship, and another where it simply has a star on its tail. My favorite part about this level is how much it changes per star. First the ship is sunken, but then after you get the star by draining it, it begins to float. There's another chest star in this little cave area, and it's fine but nothing much to write home about. Another fine red coin mission here as well, and I find swimming in the waters of Jolly Roger Bay so much more peaceful than Dire Docks. However, the 100 coin mission here is a bitch. There's only 104 coins to get here, so if you miss some from enemies that sucks, and you're gonna have to restart the level. There's also another metal cap star where you have to get the metal cap and sink to the bottom of the ocean. However, you can just cheese this star without using the metal cap. I think this stage does a much better job at showcasing water levels in 3D Mario, way more than anything else in this game. I like this stage more than most, but it's my list, so all you losers can suck my dick. Number 8, Hazy Maze Cave. Okay, now we're in the great stage category, as Hazy Maze Cave is such a phenomenal one. There's so much variety in the stars here. None of them are too hard, but they all have something about them that makes them fun to collect. But first we gotta talk about the music. It is so mysterious and really fits the whole vibe and the whole atmosphere here. There's one star here, while not as bad as some other ones, it's still not my favorite, and that's the red coin star. I just find it tedious to use these moving platforms, but other than that, it's okay. The most infamous part of this level, I think, is the fact that it introduces Dory, a little water creature. He's pretty fun to control and you can use him to get a star, but the best thing he's used for is to get to the metal cap stage. While not a star to select in this stage, it is gotten through Hazy Maze Cave, so while I'm not going to count the actual star towards the ranking, I will count the fact that you can get there using Hazy Maze Cave. Another very famous part is the poisonous maze. There's a little maze with a bunch of poisonous gas around here and a bunch of doors to go through, usually leading to some sort of star. And you cannot forget watch for rolling rocks, which is just a wall jump to get to the star. Overall, Hazy Maze Cave is really solid level, but man, you cannot beat this atmosphere. Number 7, Shifting Sandland. Usually I'm not the biggest fan of desert levels, but Shifting Sandland is a very solid one. There's so much to unpack here, but let's start with the 4 pillars. There's a star that requires you to stand on all 4 of them, which then opens up the very top of the pyramid in the center stage. While you're on these pillars, Klepto tries to steal your hat, and in one of the stars, he's actually holding the star that you need. All you do is hit him to get it out of his hands. It's very simple. There's also a section where there's some Tox boxes and some red coins. All of the red coins here are outside of the pyramid and aren't too much to write home about. The main reason this stage is amazing is because of the inside of the pyramid. There's a couple of stars to get here, but the one I was talking about earlier is the best one you get, and you get to fight the IROC boss fight. All you gotta do is punch the eyes on each hand, and after a while they both explode, and it's a very fun boss. There are 2 other stars inside the pyramid, but both are pretty similar, with one needing you to climb to the top of the inside, and then get some coins to spawn in another one. Here we have an interesting case with the music, as like most other tracks in the game, it shares a track, but this time I find that the theme fits both of them pretty well, even though the stages are very different. Shifting Sandland ain't too bad, and I enjoy coming back here on every playthrough. Number 6, Bob-omb Battlefield. And here we have the very first stage in the game, and man, what a classic it is. I honestly don't think I have to explain too much here, cause I mean, who doesn't love Bob-omb Battlefield? The big part about this star is the giant summit with King Bob-omb on it. It's a very fun boss fight and it's so satisfying to pick him up and slam him back down. You can't forget the Koopa the Quick Race either. Another absolute classic and I can't get enough of it. This is such a good introductory level and it sets the tone for the rest of the game that you're about to play. We can't forget to talk about the floating island too. It's a great introduction to using the cannon, which is very prominent during the entirety of the game. There are 2 stars up here, one just by hitting a box, and 2 for collecting 5 coins in the sky. I like how while the wing cap isn't required to get that star, you can still get it without it, but it's more time consuming. But my favorite star here has to be behind Chain Chomp's gate. It's so simple but so risky, and I love how this star is in view from the moment you enter the stage. You can't forget to talk about the Bob-omb Battlefield theme. I mean, like I said earlier, it's the most reused theme in the game, and it started all here. It gives me a great big adventure vibe, and that's exactly what the game is. You know it, and I know it, this stage absolutely rules, and that's why it's up so high. Number 5, Big Boo's Haunt. You want to talk about atmosphere, look no further than Big Boo's Haunt. This stage scared the absolute crap out of me as a kid, and a big reason for that was the music. It is absolutely terrifying, especially for a Mario game, and it is so eerie sounding. Let's get this out of the way first though. Yes, that's a scary piano, yes it's terrifying, but let's move on. A lot of the stars here make you think a bit and involve some puzzles, such as this one where you have to hit certain books in a certain order. Hey, I never said these puzzles were supposed to be hard. There's also going around and killing every boo in order to spawn a big boo in the main mansion room. There's also a star later on where you have to fight him on top of the mansion, and while not hard, it's still a fun fight. The only hard part about this one is getting to the top of the mansion for the star. Obviously, there's a red coin star here too, and it's a pretty decent one. Underneath the mansion though, there's a merry-go-round where even more boos appear for another star. The carousel also has a very dark circus theme, and it just adds on to the creepy atmosphere. While the stars in Big Boo's Haunt aren't nearly as good as some of the other ones, you cannot beat this atmosphere. Number 4, Tick Tock Clock. the only Mario 64 stage to get a track in Mario Kart, and it had every right to. Obviously the gimmick here is that you're inside a clock, so there's a lot of clock things going on in the stage. You even enter through a clock, and depending on what time you enter, it can change how the stage moves. Not to mention, Tock Clock is stupid hard. It might be the single hardest stage in the game. A lot of these stars just involve you progressively climbing higher and higher up the clock, so there isn't too much variety in the stars you collect. But man, is this platforming really fun and hard, and it's not mainly hard because of the controls, although they do make it worse. The red coins here are so simple if you enter the clock at 12 to get everything to stop moving. While this is a cool feature, it can suck when you need it to move for a star but go in on the wrong time. For the theme here this time around, it's just a slide theme, and I think it fits pretty well as it has a very hectic feel. Tock Clock definitely feels like a late game stage, both because of its difficulty and its fun factor. Number 3, Cool Mountain. The superior snow level is finally here. The theme again is an absolute masterpiece and making me feel like I'm at home on a snowy day right next to the fire. The stars here are also just peak Mario 64. I mean, there's penguins everywhere, and who doesn't love penguins? Let me get the one negative thing out of the way, and that's the snowman lost his head star. I don't know if a lot of people have as much trouble with this one as I do, but this star just bugs a lot for me. I can never seem to get into the right position to get the head on the body, but other than that, I absolutely love every other star here. The best ones, of course, are the slide stars, and this is one of the best slides in the whole game. But let's not forget another one of my favorite stars, Little Penguin Lost. There are a couple of little penguins scattered around the map, and you have to locate which one to bring back to the mother penguin. Also, this is by far the best 100 coin star, as most of them are obtained using the slide, and like I said earlier, this is the best slide in the game, so go figure. The red coins here are also pretty fun, and honestly, some of them have some really good hiding spots. Anytime I'm replaying this game, this is one of the first paintings I jump through, and I know I'm gonna have a fun time. Number 2, Lethal Lava Land. I really thought that this stage was going to be at around the number 4 or number 5 spot, but upon further inspection I realized how much I absolutely love it here. The music is the same as Shifting Sandland, and weirdly enough gives off a very lava level type feel. There are 2 stars associated with bullies and knocking them into lava, and they're pretty fun to do. The stage is home to one of the worst red coin missions though, but that's only because it's so short and so easy. There's one final star in the main area where you have to roll onto this log or just be an epic gamer and get over there without it. But the main reason that I love Lethal Lava Land so much is the 2 volcano stars. In the middle of this level there's a volcano that sprouts out lava, and you can end up going inside of it where 2 stars reside. They just go from point A to point B stars, but the platforming here is so much fun. I especially love jumping across these poles, as pole jumping isn't seen too often in these games. Overall, this is a damn good stage, but it was only beaten by number 1, Wamps Fortress. I don't know how most of you are going to feel about this pick, but Wamps Fortress is the undisputed best stage in this game in my opinion. There's a whole lot to explore around here, and it has a wide variety of stars. The first star has you fight the Wamp King, and it's a very easy fight, but it's also stupidly fun. Other stars include climbing back up to the top of the fortress, but this time there's a tower to climb. You can't forget about Blast Away the Wall. I mean, that's an absolute classic right there. The red coin star here is also great, and none of the coins are in stupid spots unlike most other courses. I mean, yeah, the music is just the same basic Bob-omb Battlefield theme, but honestly, it might just fit this stage more. And I mean, come on, they remastered this for Mario Galaxy 2, also known as the best 3D Mario of all time, so it's gotta be peak. This level doesn't disappoint at all, and I'm glad to say that it is the best Mario 64 stage. And there you have it, there's every single stage in Mario 64 ranked. Like I said, I do plan on doing an entire star ranking in the future, and I think it would be a pretty fun video idea, so, you know, if you like that, maybe show some support on this video. Don't worry, the Child Dungeon analysis is coming soon. I just didn't think I'd be able to get it out at a good time, so you got this random video instead. I just want to thank you guys for the continued support. It means the absolute world to me, and if you have any other content suggestions, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.